Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Great Gibraltar Draft with Hound Dogs, and today is the final game of the season. We could in fact sneak into the top 4 and get a conference place, so it's a big day. Before we get started and we jump into having a look at previous as well as any transfers that we've made already, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you get more of this content. But let's jump into taking a look at how we got to this point. So following on from a 3-1 defeat to Magpies, it didn't get much better. A 1-0 loss to Mons Calp was the next one for us, with their new signing Braff in contention, but it was Nias who scored the winner. And that followed up with a 4-2 defeat to Europa Point. We took a lead initially, coming down this right-hand side. It fell to Shabalala in the box, and he was able to put it away to give us the 1-0 lead. But it didn't last too long, as early in the second half, a fantastic free kick by Guarin levelled things up for him. We did take the lead once again, though. Andre Wisdom getting down the right-hand side. He was able to deliver a ball in towards Snodgrass, who played it back across to Traore, who fired it past the keeper. But it was then late on where Europa Point took control and managed to score 3 goals to get them the win. This was where we knew we had to change things up for the next couple of games. But a ball through to Wild was able to pop that past the keeper to make it 2-2. It wasn't long, though, until they managed to get their third of the game. Again, Wild involved, same with Guarin, who was able to find Van der Kust on that left-hand side, who rifled it past the keeper once again. No stopping that one. And then finally, it was late on once more. Van der Kust being involved, finding Unai Vega out to Guarin. Adebayor was there, playing it into Wild, who's playing at left back, or right back at this point. And on his left foot, absolutely beautiful goal for 4-2. Change things we must, and change things we did. So a 4-3-3 formation was in the pecking order, and this time a slightly different way of going forward. Now, this did lead to a 2-0 win against Lynx. Snodgrass with a ball in for Bareback to head home. And then in the early part of the second half, Koch, one of our new signings, was able to get down the left-hand side, deliver a ball for Graziano Pella, whose rebounded effort took to Snodgrass, who slotted home. And that good performance continued into the Lions game, where we did end up winning that. It wasn't a good start, though. Sinclair coming through, a challenge led to a deflection that lobbed the keeper, giving them the 1-0 lead. Our reaction, though, to that was to get a goal ourselves. Working down this right-hand side, Ramirez back in the side. Hamza, another new signing, playing it out to Koch. Bareback's there, and he fired it home for 1-1. And then late on in the game, we did manage to wrap things up with a 2-1. Again, on the left-hand side, working it well. Shabalala's ball inside to Ramirez, found Bareback, and then he played it across to Lindberg, one of the newest signings of the squad, on that right-hand side for 2-1. So you already saw there a few of the new signings involved. And, of course, we have made some more. It's an uptake. Obviously, we had that little bit of a blip continued after the Magpies game, but we have beaten Lynx and Lions. Obviously, they are low. Well, they were lower in the table at that point. So, yeah. I mean, of course, we'd want to beat them, but it's good to kind of get a bit of momentum now. So let's take a look at the transfers that we have made since you last saw. Obviously, there's loads more to come in the summer, so we'll be showing you those in the next episode when we start again. But in this one, what we can do is show you where we're at the moment. So previously, we saw Giles Johannes. Michael Johnson is one of the new ones as well. He's currently in... Well, I've brought all the players into the first team who I'm looking at for next season, who's going to possibly be in the squad. But he's 21-year-old Norwegian, can play in the middle or out like left or right. From Feyenoord or Rosenborg, he came in on a free, though, as he had been released. So I think that's a decent one. Hams is another one who's a bit more of a first-team regular at the moment, playing that deep line playmaker role from the Gambia. He will certainly be important next year, I think, if we do want to kind of continue to push on. Then we've brought in Paul Koch from Katwijk. He was currently on an amateur contract, so that's how we were able to bring him straight into the side. 27 years old, been paid a good amount of money, but I think he's a good amount of player. I think it's worth it for now. We need to pay these players a bit of money because this league isn't that big of a deal. Gennario Daniels is another one, Dutch from Utrecht. He has come in as well, 6'3", so a big, tall striker, which works well with what we're trying to do now. I think that's what we need, is the main striker to be big, tall, strong. Graziano Pella's just that, so that's great. I'll show you the tactic in a minute when we get into the game. Mathis Thevenin is an Ethiopian who's come in the side. Not as great as we maybe would have hoped, but he'll help the under-23s, and we might get a bit of money for him. We'll see. Probably not anything to shout about. Bobby Carroll isn't one that we did bring in from Everton. He looks okay. Again, good work rate, which is nice to see, and a bit of potential on him, but again, nothing too spectacular. Maino Figueroa did come in, though, as a centre-back, left-back option. I think a very good signing, really. £3,000. A 39-year-old, as the cat jumps up again, distracting me. He's looking very good. Honduras, obviously, legend. 174 caps for them. So, super experienced player coming into the side. And we'll definitely be using him for mentoring and that sort of thing. Then we've got Sergio Silva, who has been brilliant since coming in. His stats aren't as good as some of the players that we've got at centre-back. But overall, because it's so well spread out, certainly looking very, very nice. And he's been great. 28 years old as well. So, I mean, still looking very good on that front. Finally, we have got Sam Lautensch, a Dutch, I say international. He's not an international. 19 years old, though. Looks very promising. Look at that potential star rating. Potentially a star player for the team, which is great. He's coming from Volendam even. So for free. Great signing, I think. He looks very, very tasty. He can play in that kind of deeper role as well, which is nice to see, especially as that is kind of the role we'll need in this tactic. So we've got a 4-3-3 formation with wide inverted wingers who'll be tucking right round Pella. The long balls will be going forward to him from the goalkeeper, but otherwise we will be playing short football. So it mixes it up a lot. So it's hopefully going to keep the other opposition on their toes. With Figueroa at the back, I think we've got the ability to play football with the ball as well from the back going forward. Obviously, Shabalala's very good in there. He's been crucial to our performances. Bareback's working very well on the wing. So I'm pretty happy with things and how they're going so far. So we will be jumping into today's game. It is against Lincoln, so it is a big game. We obviously saw us play them last time. Unfortunately, we did lose to them. But this time round could be very different. If we get the win, we could be in the Europa League Conference, which would be absolutely fantastic for us going forward, and especially next year, as it might even allow us to bring in a couple more even higher quality players. But we'll have to see. I'm not too concerned if we don't get it this year, as like I say, we've brought in a lot of players, so things have kind of moved around and changed. One thing to note is I have signed a hell of a lot of players from Lincoln. So there's a lot of legendary Gibraltar players who are playing for Lincoln currently, with Wisdom's firing over there, who will be joining us next year. How much game time they'll get is probably not much, I'll be honest. But yeah, there is a few Lincoln players that I'll be signing, so it'll be interesting to see how they kind of recover from that, because I am taking out the opposition. Anyone that any of the Gibraltar teams are trying to sign, I'm going for as well. But yeah, obviously, if we get the win today, the pressure's on St. Joseph. I don't know who they're playing. I think they're playing like tomorrow rather than today. So we might have to see how we get on if we do get the win. But we need to get the points on the board first. So we have to focus on that, and then we can see how things go. So with that said, we're keeping the ball quite nicely here. It's not grass. Playing it out wide to Andre Wisdom, who's got that ball on that right-hand side. Ball's whipped in. Graziano Pella's there. It does hit over the bar. So not quite as good as of a header as we'd have hoped. But we're still going strong, looking good on the ball. Maino Figueroa into Shabalala. He plays it back to Diego Alves, who plays it short again. Sergio Silva into Williams, who's, I think, the only player in the starting 11 currently who started with Hound Dogs originally. Obviously, we've got the players that drafted and was in the squad with us at the beginning. But bareback with the header after an Andre Wisdom cross. Great stuff. Half an hour in. 1-0 up. It's exactly what we needed. Going into the later stages of the first half, looking confident. They haven't caused any problems so far, which is great. So hopefully that continues, as I've got hiccups. So we're running wild at the moment. Currently sitting in fourth, which is great. But yeah, St. Joseph are the key people that we'll have to keep an eye on if things stay as they are for us. Anyway, I think we'll leave it as it is. I don't think we need to make any changes at the moment. I think I'm pretty happy. Dede's only just come back. What I have realised is when a player gets sent off, or I think it's 3 yellow cards, they get like a 5-match ban, or they get a certain amount of ban. But as they keep getting a yellow card, they'll continue to get more and more, another 5-match ban. And that's why Ramirez has been out for so long, is because he's got 5 yellow cards and he's got a 5-game ban, which is basically the whole of this season. Like, there's not many. As Kite goes through, 23rd goal of the season, that is way more than our top goal scorer. But yeah, so I have told him to kind of drop off and not go in hard on challenges, to stay on their feet and stuff, because I don't want players being kicked out of the team because they're on a suspension, because that's just going to cause loads of issues. 1-1 though, not a great start to the second half as they go score with Kike, but I'm hoping that we can still turn this into a positive and still get the win. Shabalala looking back to Cog after a free kick. I mean, it's not a great pass, forcing him back, but he does well to get past the kind of midfielder there, or the defender. On this left-hand side, plays back to Shabalala, who will look to get a yard, plays it off back to Hamza, who's got the strength to hold on to the ball there. He does well into Williams. Can he turn out again? There you go, Snodgrass. Look for the overlap. There it is. Andre Wisdom. This is exactly what we want. We've worked the overlap. Ball comes across to Snodgrass. Can he get a ball into the box again or lay it back? He does play it across. Pella's shot is saved from point-blank range. A fantastic save. Who's in goal for them? I don't even know who they drafted in the end. I did click on him. Soleil. I mean, it's not even the person they drafted. So what a signing. And Snodgrass just heads over from the resultant corner. But things are looking good for us, at least. We're looking very, very positive. But yeah, I mean, they've got Bruno Alves at the back and Nsu as well, who are two of their signings. Elkerson, obviously a very, very good player, who's now Chinese, following his time in Brazil, following his time in China. Kike there receives the ball from Fernando Carrollero. Yeah. Not great defending, I'll be honest, as we've had chances and we just haven't scored. But Carrollero on that left-hand side does well to get enough of a chance to fire it into Kike. I mean, Maino Figueroa isn't close enough to him to kind of put him off, basically. And that will mean that Lincoln are on 32 points and they'll jump up to 4th. So, yeah, it looks like we won't be getting Europa League, because I don't think anything's going to change now that I've not made any changes. I was hoping that we'd kind of just get back into it without having to be forced into anything. But, yeah, not looking great. Gennario Daniels will come on for Pella. I mean, it works. What we're doing is it's working exactly how I want it to, and I'm seeing it working on the pitch. But it's just those kind of opportunities. It's making those chances pay. So it's stuff like that where we need to make sure that pass is right and get there, basically. But unfortunately, it's not the case today, and I don't think it will be with them 1-0 up. But Maino Figueroa goes up, Shabalala wins that header, and now Graziano Pella's going to come forward. He looks to play it through to John Christoph Baerback. He's going to cut inside, surely. Is he going to be able to get a ball back across? He does play it into Graziano, who misses the goal completely. Oh, you're meant to be our talisman striker, and that's why you're coming off. But there you go, a 2-1 loss to Lincoln. I'm disappointed because we could have won that very easily. I think we had well enough chances to get some goals to win that. But there you go. That is the end of our season. Obviously, there will be a few more games to go in the league because we all play at the same stadium, meaning that we can't play at the same time. But there you go. Looks like Glacis and College drew Europa point. Had Adebayor and Matthews scored 2 goals against Lions with Steve Derrida scoring there, and Henry Sivette getting the 1 goal against Europa FC that looks like has won them the title. So Mons Calp are the league winners, as we are not knocked out, but outside of that, which isn't great. So this is what we're talking about. They've been banned for too many yellow cards. Now, after collecting 2 yellow cards, he gets a 1-match ban. But I'm pretty sure that if you get more, you get like a 5-match ban. Because that's basically what 3 ban after next 1 yellow card. 5 match ban every additional yellow card. That's mental. I don't know if that's where I've messed up somewhere on the league, but that is an interesting caveat. 2 yellow cards and you get 1 match ban. 3, you get 3 match ban with another yellow card, and every yellow card after that is a 5 match ban. That's insane. I'd rather him just get a red card because that is crazy. Madness. Absolute madness. But with that is our first season over in the Great Gibraltar Draft. Let's take a look. Transfers. There's a friggin' shitload. So as you can see there's a lot that have come in. Money's been spent. Free's been spent. All that stuff. Transfers out. Obviously, there's been a few as well. Yeah. They're not overly happy that we didn't win the league. But, tough shit. That's what I'm going to say there. Your biggest win was a 4-0 win against Europa Point with Munilau, Pella and Shabalala getting the goals. Match, remember, was against Lions. Sessignon getting the goal for them, but Calderon getting 2, Munilau and Shabalala getting goals for us. And then goal of the season was John Christoph Baerback. Sponsorship, obviously going up. Lots of money coming in for that side of things because of what was happening with the money in the country. This is the formation that they think we've kind of should use and is the best one. Why the hell is Matthew Draper on there? He made 1 substitute appearance. It doesn't make sense. Make it make sense, basically. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. John Christoph Baerback's probably the best player of the season. We'll have to see. Oh, no, yeah. I mean, Shabalala was also extremely good for us, so that's fine. Young player of the season was Sean Calderon, so it'll be interesting to see how much of this stays around and how quickly we'll be able to kind of change that. Basically, most goals by a player in a match, Munal was 2, so I'm pretty sure that'll change as time goes on, hopefully. But there you go. That is that for this season. What we will do is obviously come back at the beginning of next season, start again, and hopefully, well, I'll show you, I'll be running through the transfers because there is going to be a hell of a lot of transfers that have come in. A lot of them you probably won't even see play because I probably won't see play because they'll probably just go back out at some point on a transfer. But I get excited when there's money available and we're at a lower league team because you could just bring in loads of players for cheap. But yeah, anyway, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content like this. And of course, I will catch you in the next one. See you then.